Welcome, gang, to this month's Inner Circle topic call. Today, we're going to talk about the choke point, the barrier that's holding 99% of us back from achieving the life and the desires that we want. But before that, while we're waiting for people to dial in here, Bill asked a question about the market's really hot, if I hear you correctly. People are coming to the area. You're getting lots of referrals, but the agents sending the referrals, for lack of a better word, are greedy and want more than a standard referral fee, and they want to be tied into the deal. So, it's actually we'll start the call off with that because it's a great question. I want everybody to have a goal to be in a business where politely, respectfully, you can turn down referrals. We often think that, well, something is better than nothing. And, I'm paying 40% to Zillow and I sold a $500,000 property. So I'm making something that I otherwise wouldn't have made. But that is a scarcity mindset. And we live in an abundant world, a created world where we have a process, we have a system, and we can create the rules of engagement. So the first thing that I'll say, Bill, great question. I want everybody, we all know that who's ever heard we need to know our numbers? You need to know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. Well, what does that mean? Well, one of the numbers that we need to know is cost per lead and cost per sale. So when you calculate, and this is an advanced mindset, it took me a long time to really understand it and implement it, but once you understand it, you'll implement it. For all of you, I want you to count all the money coming in, gross commission income, count it all, every single cent of it. So if you have an agent on your team and they're on a 50-50 split and a $10,000 commission comes in, the expense to the agent is 50%. So the total GCI that you generated as a team leader is $10,000 with an agent expense of $5,000. If you're at a company and you're not in an 80-20 split and 20% goes to the broker, a lot of agents don't even count that money. They don't even think about it. You need to know where your money is going. It's your money. Now, there are costs of doing business. So when you count all the money coming in and you allocate for all the money going out, one of those expenses is cost per sale. So we'll just use a $10,000 gross commission income. Let's say you're on an 80-20 split with your company, whatever it is. The gross commission income is $10,000. That goes into my QuickBooks. That's what my bookkeeper puts in, $10,000. 20% goes to my broker. 40% goes to the referring agent. So in that case, it would be $4,000. The cost to generate that sale is $4,000. Everybody with me so far? Really simple. It's not complex. Here's what I want you to think of, because when we have awareness, we can make logical, intelligent decisions, not decisions based on emotion. How many of you think that if you really dialed in your marketing strategy and you used any of my free media strategies, inexpensive media strategies, or even expensive media strategies, we could generate a sale for less than $4,000? Who agrees with that? Let me give you an example. Let's take social media. We're generating quality leads at the clip. I'll go on the high side. Let's call it $30 a lead. And in many cases, depending on your market, I can generate leads anywhere between $5 and $10, but we'll use 30. So if you generate 10 leads on social media, what's your cost for the 10 leads? Who can tell me? $300, right? $30 times 10 leads is $300. So who thinks that out of 10 leads, you'd at least a monkey would get, a kindergarten student would get one sale? Now, let's say you're brand new, you're inexperienced, and you go, all right, I need 20 leads to close one sale. because not everybody answers the phone. Not everybody's willing to meet with me. Not everybody's willing to follow Brian's process. My skills are still developing. And I need 20 leads to get one sale. At $30 a lead times 20, how much have we invested in lead generation in that one campaign? Unmute your mics. Come on, this is interactive. I want to show you how easy this is.
600, right? You do just double.
$600. Who thinks that out of $600 ad spend, you'll get a sale? Now, these are not people. Here, this is another important thing to understand. The industry teaches us to shake hands, kiss babies, promote ourselves, and get out there in front of people. I don't want to talk to people. I want to talk to buyers and sellers. So if I can run direct response marketing messages, good, compelling, irresistible offers, I can generate leads for pennies on the dollar. So when I mastered that skill, and you don't even have to be masterful to do this, like this is very simple. How much is a sign rider? 10 bucks, 15 bucks? I can generate 10 leads off a sign rider where I'm going to convert one of those. What's your cost per sale? $1 a lead, 10 leads off a $10 sign rider is 10 bucks. How many of you would spend $10 to generate 10 leads? Over a period of time, you get 10 more calls during the course of your listing because you put a sign rider up that says low down payment, special financing, home sold to the highest bidder. And people call you and go, hey, what's that mean? What kind of financing do you have? If you talk to 10 of those sign calls, who thinks you're going to get one of them to buy a house? So that's a $10 cost per sale. So do you think, knowing what I know now, what I just shared with you, it makes any sense on God's green earth to spend $4,000 cost per sale?
It certainly doesn't. But they still
So,
come in, right? So
but
how
they
do you,
still come in.
again,
So
how do you handle that? Like, what's my
you're
line to them when they call me?
awesome question. So that's my next bit of recommendation. Hey, Bill, I really, really appreciate you referring your clients to me. And we're not accepting referrals because your 40% referral fee is a cost per sale of $4,000. I can generate a sale for under $500. So I appreciate it, but here's what I'll tell you. I'd be willing to pay you generously 15%. And I will do you what's more important to you? Getting 15% and guaranteed deposited in the bank, or sending it to some rando agent that fucks up your referral and you get nothing of 40%. So we're one of the top agents in the marketplace. I do a lot of advertising, marketing. Likely your buyer's going to call me anyway, and then you get nothing. So with all due respect, I appreciate it, but if you're willing to, I'll pay you 15%. And if you're okay with that, we'll take great care of them. That will turn them into a raving fan for you. And I'll give you 15% in perpetuity if they ever buy or sell again.
I didn't think of that. That's a good one.
So that's how I do it. And I'm not even happy about 15% because that's $1,500, but it is a very high quality lead. So I might go there depending on the price point, depending on what they're looking for. So great, great question. Did everybody get value out of that? Actually, this is a great transition to where I'm going on the agenda for today's call, mindset and psychology. A big piece of our success in life is our identity. How do we see ourselves? And we have an identity that serves us, and we also have an identity that holds us back. I'll share with you Sunday, first time in a long time, I had a I had a bad day. Like really bad day. I start my day and I'm very positive. I start my day with, if you want to copy and model success principles, I start my day every day before I brush my teeth, reading 25 gratitude statements. I am grateful for this. I am grateful for this. And I've written them down and I'll make a note here and towards the end of the call, I'll leave a few minutes and I'll put it in the chat so you all can have it. It changed my life because when you change your expectations for appreciation, you change your life forever. But everything is not all black and white. It's not that easy. And I was having a little bit of a pity party on Sunday. I've been working really hard. My kids are gone. I'm launching 71 speaking events in the next 12 months. I'm launching full day webinars. I'm doing more speaking events. I'm creating more affiliate relationships. I revamped my website. I've done more work in the first 4 months of this year than I have in the previous 3 years. Like business cards, media, pop-ups, marketing, like actually implementing it. I couldn't handle it before because I was a full-time husband and father. I was traveling all the time. So I did well part-time with no effort. And some of you are doing really well part-time with no effort. Like we're just cruising. That's your comfort zone. And I did a recording a few months ago. If you look in the library, it was my breakthrough trip from Aruba. I won't redo it, but if you haven't listened to it, it was life changing and it kept me on fire. And I've been going, 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 going. And Sunday it hit me. We're launching a massive ad campaign, 9 video ads to promote an event that I'm doing in New Hampshire. And I'm documenting everything and redoing my full day event presentation and my call to actions and my offers and the content. And it's a massive undertaking. And we're spending thousands of dollars to promote and fill that event. And I'm not getting the results that I expected or thought would happen. Less than successful so far. Anybody can relate with that? Like you really work really, really hard. You work. So I call my wife, and I'm sharing this with you because I'm sure at some capacity, in one of the 5 equities of life, I'm speaking to every one of you. But in business, I called my wife and I go, honey, I'm having a really bad day. She goes, what do you mean? I go, the conversations in my head that I pay attention to, I can't stop them. I'm saying things to myself quietly. You fucking loser. You bit off more than you can chew. You know, I had thoughts of maybe you're not as good as you think you are. Anybody ever relate to that? And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, shut up. I know that that self-talk impacts my focus, impacts my emotions. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling down. What's the likelihood I'm going to have great success if I'm feeling down and desperate and despair, right? Like it's just a bad day. You know what my wife said to me? She goes, people would kill to be in your situation. God bless her, right? Not, oh, honey, it's going to be okay. It's people would kill to be where you are in life. She reminded me that life is happening for us, not to us. And I was reminded a couple of things that got me through that hurdle. One is I knew the conversations, I couldn't turn them off. No matter how much I said, Brian, you're good, you're great, you're going to impact people's lives, you're going to make a difference. The chatter in my head was just uncontrollable, really hard. And I've trained my whole life to control that shit. Couldn't shut it off. But so here's rule number one. When you're having a bad day, personally, relationship wise, financially, business wise, spiritually, health, if you're having a bad day, I limit it to 24 hours. Some people have a bad day and it turns into a bad week. And then a bad week turns into a bad month. And a bad month turns into a bad quarter. And a bad quarter turns into a bad year. And how many of us know somebody who's had a bad decade? Really sad, right? So limiting your emotions to experience whatever you need to experience in that moment of communication from a higher power. And then tomorrow is a new day. But even with that, I wasn't confident tomorrow was going to be a new day. But here's what I realized: growth doesn't come from comfort. Now, there's a lesson I'm about to share with you. Growth does not come from comfort. The reason I was struggling on Sunday, who would agree with me just on knowing this, that I was uncomfortable in what was going on? And that discomfort really was heavy, weighing on me. Uncertainty. Is this going to work? Can I get through it? And what most people do is they say, fuck it, and they quit on the 5 yard line and they go back to comfort. I made a decision Monday morning. I had a dream Sunday night. You want to talk about the universe? I don't know what your all spiritual beliefs are, God, the universe, whatever, but I had a dream. And many of you know that Bob Proctor was a mentor of mine. And I had a dream Sunday night, the night of the bad day, of Bob Proctor talking to me. I could see him in his beige suit sitting in a restaurant, a little cafe. The table was round. There were flowers on the table. He was having a coffee. I was having a coffee. I was looking down on it and I was listening to him. And the only thing I took away from what he said was, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote it down. That's how profound it was. Brian, and if you're writing it down, just change your name from Brian to Trinity to Bill. Just change the name. Brian, the ultimate leverage, the ultimate leverage comes from determination. And I'm like, thanks, Bob. I've got goosebumps telling you this story because I've never read that. I've never heard that statement. This was a message in a dream. I woke up the next morning, strapped on my determination, back at it. The ultimate message leverage comes from determination. Now, where does determination come from? It comes from, why am I biting all this off? Well, for me personally, you're either growing or you're dying. And professionally, I haven't pushed the comfort zones and I want to grow. I want the feedback of the failures so that I can regurgitate it, solve the problems, figure it out, because I believe there's a solution for everything. And then I can pay it forward and share it with you all. I'm doing a bunch of ad copy, and one of the messages I wrote down the other day is, I have paid the ultimate price so that you don't have to. I've had employees steal from me. I've had buyers leave my team. I've had buyers whine and bitch and buyer agents leave my team. People on my team complaining that I'm not doing enough, always wanting more. I've had buyers agents not be the right cultural fit. I've hired the wrong people. I've lost sales. I've had buyers ghost me. I've had listings that I've lost. I had to cut my commissions early on because I didn't have the skills. That's all painful. But I went through that pain to figure out the problem and the solution, create a checklist, a system, a process so that I can put it on a silver platter for you. And my question is, how many hours a week are you consuming? How bad do you want it? See, locking yourself down for 3 hours once a week or 6 hours once a week in 2 sessions, who agrees that's not comfortable? That's not part of your routine. What else is not part of your routine that is uncomfortable that you know you need to do, but you don't know why you don't do it? Recently, um, I was invited along with our owner here on the screen. I love your owner. I don't know what that means. That's awesome.
I don't
But
know what it means either.
so
It's
there's a
Alan.
little, yeah, I know, Alan. I'm teasing you.
I don't know what
So
it means. I
Alan
guess I
is,
didn't set my machine up.
it's all good. It's all good. And that's just technical. Anybody besides me find technology uncomfortable? I do
Eh,
not find it comfortable. So Alan is part of a group that I'm in, a little group, and part of an agent team that I coach. And I got invited to join 75 Hard. Anybody familiar with it besides Alan? So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I eat problems for breakfast. That'll push my comfort zones. Let's do it. On top of all the other things I've got scheduled. Man, am I experiencing some discomfort. And it's been great. The reason it's been great is because I'm hearing conversations in my head about the discomfort, but they're not stifling. I'm like aware of them and I'm like, shut up, you're not in charge. I'm in charge. So, my big ask of you all, and I love you and care about you, is to embrace the comfort zone, embrace the discomfort zone. What is it that you're not doing that you should be doing? And I'm going to tell you that the reason you're not doing it is because it's not comfortable. And we have excuses to make ourselves justified. Mine, is it related to health? Well, I got run over by a car in 2009, and I've got 6 foot surgeries, and it hurts my foot hurts all the time. So walking, jumping, running, moving hurts. So I've been pretty sedentary, admittedly difficult, not impossible, but getting to the point where bending over to tie my shoes is effort. I'm like, fuck, I don't like this. So if that's effort, what do you think 75 hard is? It's been like, holy shit. Somebody once told me, Trinity's the youngest one on the call, it's much easier to stay in shape than it is to get in shape. So if you're in shape, don't lose it, Trinity. Stay in shape. And Trinity is in shape. Um, so I'm feeling better about health wise. I've made some progress. We need to acknowledge ourselves for the efforts that we make. But I'd like you to think about what are 3 things? And I'm going to ask you to just put them in the chat. What are 3 things that instantly come to mind that you know you should be doing, but you haven't dove in and done them? And just be aware, right? I'm not asking you to make a commitment to go do them. I'm just saying, can we identify anything that we should be doing? So let's do that real quick. 3 things. Let's do a quick autopsy of ourselves. Let me open up the chat and see what you got. Daily calls, more AI. What else? And it doesn't have to be business wise, it can be. Marketing, specifically, what kind of marketing? YouTube. Trinity is great on video. Yes, I agree. You should be doing more of that. Increasing your daily call log, more regular contacts. Good, good, good. Time blocking for planning. Postcards, sign riders. Okay, very, very good. So the reason we don't do those things is they're uncomfortable. You're either growing or you're dying. I don't want to die, so I want to grow. So I have embraced discomfort. Everyone on this call and everybody who's watching remotely or the recording later on, every human being that is watching this or will watch this or consume this, has had a situation in life where you've overcome adversity and you conquered and you kicked ass at something. There's no freaking way in the world you're going to tell me that you kicked ass at something, some accomplishment, some major achievement, some milestone, without going through discomfort. True or false? Am I lying or am I telling it like it is? So, if that's the case, my brain works very logically. If I want more accomplishments, more achievement, better quality of life, what's it going to require? Discomfort. So I've stacked it on. And Sunday it came to a almost screeching halt. Like, I can't take this anymore. I'm suffering. I'm suffocating.
Was that the day you missed your 10 pages of reading?
I don't uh was it? I think it was Saturday night, maybe. No, it was Saturday night, Alan. So maybe that contributed to the Sunday feeling, right? It was just one failure, one setback after the other. So if I know that I need to be uncomfortable, I need to embrace it. But now, why don't people embrace it? This is easier said than done. There are 6 human needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. 2 of them are spiritual, 4 of them are mandatory. The first is love and connection. Every human being needs love and connection. In fact, it's been scientifically proven that if a newborn baby isn't loved, it will die. It's called failure to thrive syndrome. That's how important it is to be loved. The second human need, mandatory, is significance. We all have the need to feel important and worthy. The third is variety. The fourth is certainty. And then if you want to draw a little line underneath that, the fifth and sixth spiritual needs are the need to grow and the need to contribute. And not every human being is wired to need to grow or contribute. They're not essential. They're not mandatory to get through life. But the first 4 are mandatory. So here's the thing. Each of us is very different. We're individuals like a snowflake. No 2 are alike. No 2 human beings are alike, thank God. Which of those 6 needs do you crave the most? Circle the top 2. Circle the top 2. What do you, because I used to, the younger Brian, my number 1 need was significance. And what's interesting is that all human behavior, consciously or unconsciously, everything we do in life at an unconscious level is done to meet that need. Now, some people meet their needs in a positive way, and some people meet their needs in a negative way. I was on a hike with this mastermind group this morning, and this woman was having an outburst. Beautiful lady. I talked to her last night. Wonderful person. We're all human, so there's no judgment. I'm just sharing the story of what I witnessed this morning. And she had a moment, and she's like, they said we were leaving at 9 o'clock, and we left 15 minutes early. Be in the lobby at 8:30, leave at 9. Why'd we leave at 8:45? I had some work that I wanted to get done. And she was losing her shit. What need is she meeting? Significance, certainty, knowing that she'd probably get a reaction. So I'll tie it back to discomfort. If you have a strong need for comfort, you have a strong need for certainty. And Tony helped me change my number 1 need from significance to love and connection. You 3 know me pretty well. How many of you think I'm driven by all human behavior for significance anymore? Or how many of you think that I'm a lover? I'm a big teddy bear. I'll give you the shirt off my back. See, your behavior shifts when you can consciously say, who do I want to be and who do I need to become to get to where I'm going? Because there's no shortage of strategies. And we'll do calls on that, but I just felt compelled to get in your head today because there's no coaches or trainers that do that. In 30 years in Tony Robbins' environment, and I haven't perfected it. I'm pretty good, but not perfected. I wanted to share it with you and see how it applies to your life. So Tony would tell you if he was on this call, because I can finish his sentences. I've been to all of his programs. I'm a trainer. I've been through Trainers Academy. I've taken courses and studied and passed exams to get to be a trainer. He would tell you that your life, the quality of your life, is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty you can tolerate. What happened to me on Sunday is the uncertainty meter got high. Can everybody feel that for me? Not that I want you to feel bad for me. Brian's okay. But for me, based on all that I've been biting off, all that I'm like, fuck, throw it at me. Let's go. This is my year. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be difficult. I know it's going to be challenging to have exponential gains in my business, but forget this is the year it's happening. And then it doesn't happen as quickly as I'd like. Anybody else ever have that happen? 75 hard. I should lose 100 pounds. Like these unrealistic expectations. I probably don't need to lose 100 pounds, but I thought I would lose more weight than I have lost. So what do? I use the disappointment, the discouragement, and now I make adjustments and iterations, and I want you guys to do that too. I want you to do an autopsy of your life, your business, and I want you to make small adjustments. The devil's in the details. So here's my little journal. I'll give you an example. So I'm not losing weight. I'm like, I feel better. Hey, there's abs under here. I got abs. I can feel them like ready to burst out, but you can't see them yet. But if you push really hard, you can feel them from all the work that I've been doing. But I'm only 21 days in of the 75, and I don't want to say pissed off or disappointed, but those are the words that come to mind, right? That would be how I describe the lack of results that I expect to have. So I use the feedback and go, all right, well, maybe I need to actually measure the grams of protein I'm having in the calories. Maybe you need to measure your KPIs so that you can focus on the right problem. But we are in an industry that is so reactive, we're running to solve a problem and it's the wrong problem. The cost per sale exercise is a big one. I'd love you all to take that away from Bill today. You need to know what your cost per sale is, what your cost per lead is. I was talking to an agent the other day in California. Do you know what their splits 80-20? The guy makes $1 million a year in GCI. So $1 million a year times 20%, how much did the broker get?
200,000.
Are you getting $200,000 in value? He goes, I only counted the 800,000 because that's what I got paid. Well, maybe you should count all the money coming in and all the money going out because you're responsible for the money. What are the other important KPIs? So I'll give you 5 or 6 that are really, really critical, just like calories and grams of protein. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know that you're supposed to have 10 times your body weight in grams of protein a day. If you weigh, no, the equivalent of it. If I weigh 200 pounds, I need to have 200 grams of protein a day. Do you know how hard it is to eat 200 grams of protein? It's really hard, really hard. But now that I'm measuring it, You can see how I did yesterday. 187 grams of protein. Fell a little bit short, but a B plus, that's a solid improvement over what I've been doing in the past. So if it's important enough for you, you have to embrace change. But let me go back to identity. I started to talk about that and then I looped, and let me bring that back. You won't do any of this unless you change your identity. Because my identity was I'm injured. I didn't even realize that that was my identity as it relates to health. You know, we've got people in our 75 hard, Alan, and Alan knows this, who have been sedentary. Um, One gentleman in our group pulled a muscle or a ligament in his calf or in his ankle. There's no room in 75 hard to stop. David Goggins, the Navy SEALs, they don't stop. You got to fight through it. But he goes, I'm just working on different muscle groups. I'm letting my foot heal, but I can do upper body, I can do biceps, triceps, I can do chest, back, shoulders. Why did Brian Moses have a identity of I'm injured? My foot is injured. I could row, I could bike, but I made it an excuse to not do exercise because, frankly, I didn't like exercise. I am loving 75 hard. Freaking loving it. I will never not exercise again. After 75 hard, who thinks that once a day will be a breeze? See, it's hard until it isn't. And I'll give you another great one liner that's flowing through this brain this morning. You get to choose your hard. Life is hard. Do you want it to be hard now or hard later? Pick your hard. See, if I continued down the health path that I was on, what do you think 70 years old looks like for me? What do you think 80 looks like for me? What do you think 85 or 90 looks like for me? So I'm choosing my hard now so that when I'm 90 years old, it's not hard. In your business, everything we're talking about, I'm on a roll today. I hope you guys are getting value out of this. I feel like I'm giving it, but you tell me. Lead generation is a skill. We need to work on it. We don't need to, we get to. If you don't work on it, you're going to continue to pay a fortune bill for leads, for sales, until you get to the point where you've figured it out yourself. And instead of investing in Zillow, Realtor.com, and other third-party sources and helping those companies build their brand, and you have to play by their rules, like the last thing I want is a referral agent on my ask asking me how it's going with the Joneses every week because they want the 25-40% referral fee and now I have to work for them. I have to answer to them. I don't want that shit. So lead generation changes everything. But you have to change your identity. I am a marketer. You know, who are you as it relates to the real estate industry? I'm a realtor. I'm a top producer. I did this with Alan. I think I did this with Sadie the other day. This was game changing. Sadie's the number one agent in New Hampshire. And I talked about identity. I go, lady, you're badass. And she lost a listing. She lost a subdivision to another company and she was pissed. And I go, instead of being pissed, own it. You lost it because of you, not because of them. Let's do an autopsy on it and fix it so it doesn't happen again. So, identity statements, affirmations, that's the second piece. So, I do my gratitudes every morning and I do 25 affirmations. I'm a learner. I'm a giver. I'm a money making machine. I'm a marketer. I'm a leader. I'm a person of influence. I'm a business operator. See, when I ask you who you are, so I asked Sadie, who are you as it relates to real estate? She goes, I'm a real estate professional. And I said, fuck that. There's a million real estate professionals. You're way better than a real estate professional. Am I right or wrong, Alan? But she sees herself as a real estate professional. And
Yeah,
as
she's
long as
awesome.
she's amazing, she's incredible. I have goosebumps. I love her so much. Trinity, Bill, Alan, you're not a realtor. You're not a real estate professional. You're not a high school cheerleader, Trinity. Right? At one point, you were, I'm a high school cheerleader. Then Trinity goes to Mizzou, and she's an SEC cheerleader. Elite fucking cheerleader. Her identity had to shift for her to make that possible. And now college is over. Who do you need to become? Let's write that down. Who do you need to become to be the person to have the life that you want to have? And when you answer that question, you won't get realtor, you won't get real estate professional, you won't get top producer, you won't get business owner. And even if you're on a team, you're a business operator. Business owners go broke. Business operators measure, do autopsies. So the big skills, mindset, psychology, that's really important. I mean, that's the foundation. We're doing some of that today. How you see yourself, identity, all of that's important. But as it ties into business, your identity of how you see yourself, and I don't want to sound boastful, but in private, I'm the best fucking real estate coach on the planet Earth. That's my identity. Now, whether that's true or not true, I say that every single day. How many of you think that I will eventually step into that role? Just like when I was in production, I'm the number one freaking agent in New Hampshire. I'm the number one agent in the entire world for my franchise. And because you say it, you step into that identity because the identity is the strongest molecular cell in your body. We must remain consistent with our identity. And part of my identity in the past was I am injured. So guess what injured people don't do? They don't work out. I had to have an identity shift. Is this making sense to everybody? And I'm sharing my vulnerable story with you, my growth recently over the years, so that you can apply it to your life. The process and the patterns are exactly the same, but based on your goals, based on what you want to have, do, experience, and accomplish. And going back to certainty, affirmations create certainty in an uncertain world. I was reminded by the dream, I am determined, but I wasn't acting determined. See, the next morning when I woke up, I was determined to look under the hood and go, why are we not getting the registrations that we want to get? We're getting the leads, we're getting the views, we're getting the clicks. Is it the ad copy? Is it the call to action? Is it the landing page? And when you start looking under the hood, how many of you think that you find ways to improve what you've done? And I came up with a bunch, and we're starting to see a trend. It's going up. It's still early too, and real estate agents wait till the last minute to make decisions. This event is May 26th. So I'm like, okay, so I'm processing that, and I'm like, I got it. Will this help registrations? You guys tell me. I'm going to put a deadline on the early bird pricing. I just said early bird pricing. Get your tickets now, but there's no deadline of when the prices double. So when I put a deadline on there, how many think urgency will go up? People will actually book their event.
It works. We do the same thing with the West Virginia convention every year. Deadline.
100%. I'm like, oh, fuck, I missed that. That's so obvious. I know that, but how did I miss that? So we need to pay a little bit more attention. So having a perfect week or a calendar to do the things you don't want to do, schedule 3 hours a week to look under the hood of your business. What's working? What isn't working? What could be better? What could be improved? Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins taught me this. They said everybody wants to double their business. Huge mistake. It's so hard to go from 20 deals to 40, from 40 to 80. It's very, very hard to double what you're doing. But instead, we could look at 7 areas of profit optimization. And in each of those 7 areas, I'll give you an example. Lead conversion is a profit driver. Who thinks you could improve your ability to convert leads by 10, 15, 20%? How about engagement? That's another profit driver. Who thinks that we could improve our text and email campaigns or even our voicemails that we leave when we're calling our database? See, what most people do is they just do more, throw more shit at the wall, add more calls. Cheplack, I love him, but he says, make calls, make calls, make calls. But he doesn't talk about what you say when you make the calls. You think that if Mary was making 100 calls and Brian was making 100 calls, my money's on me because I know what to say to influence people. It's not about doing more. You can actually do less when you sharpen your skills. So be more desirous of uncertainty. Embrace it. Embrace it. Let me put my gratitude list and my affirmations in the chat. Anybody have any questions?
You rock, though. With
Oh,
75 hard, that's tough. I want to do it, but the
well,
not drinking for 75 days.
oh, I know that's hard when you're in your 20s.
When you're
It is.
25, it's
That's
tough.
not
That's
fair.
every
Yeah.
social event
Yeah,
ever.
I get it. I get it, Trinity. I get it. I've been there. Yeah. I love drinking. So we went out last night as a group, right?
hmm
And we were downtown Nashville. Nashville's a great place,
Great time to have a beer.
great time. Beer, great time to drink a bottle of vodka. So um we're going down there and we go into this place and they wouldn't let one of our buddies in because he didn't have his license with him. And I go, are you serious? He goes, we have to have a license. I go, Dennis, look on your phone and see if you have a picture of your license. He
hmm
does. He shows them a picture of his license. They won't let him in. He's 59 years old. The place is empty.
Ridiculous.
The place is empty. I go, sir, do you have any common sense? He goes, you keep it up. You're not getting in either. And I go, I'm not trying to be disparaging, but I'm a business operator. And if you were the owner of this establishment
You wouldn't
and
be
you're
turning somebody away.
and
Yeah.
your security guard turns 50 money pay 50. We were a group of 50. Do you know how much revenue you just fucked your owner out of? He goes, you keep it up. And I go, are you a police officer? Because I know that he's not, and that just agitated him more, right? Because he has an identity. And his identity isn't backed up by the, vest that he was wearing. But so we go to we leave. We're not going to stay. We're going to stay together as a group. We go turn the corner down to West End, and the place is rocking. Kid Rock, Jason Aldean's. It's just pouring music, and I'm not drinking Trinity. And I'm like, I want no part of this. This isn't fun for me. It's loud. It's noisy. I feel like an old humudgeon. But I ended up coming back to my hotel and did my evening workout in the
Oh my
hotel
God.
gym.
And you woke up feeling great. That's what I
I feel great. I do feel great. I feel focused. I feel clear. I'll offer this. Not that I want you to. I want you to enjoy your youth by all means. Like that's important. And you have the when you're young, you have the I don't know metabolism to process all that the shit that and poisons that we take, fast food, junk food, alcohol. But when you get older, it's much harder. But I want you to process this. Um, you can create your own version of 75 hard. And maybe it's we only drink on one night per weekend, Friday or Saturday, right? Progress, not perfection. You
Mhm.
could literally pick 5 elements. That's what's hard about 75 hard. It's 5 things. It doesn't matter what the things are. One of the elements, you could make your own 75 hard. Love your partner a little bit more. Like every day, show your partner a sign of gratitude, love, affection, positive reinforcement. That would be one. That would be amazing 75 days, right? Because what happens is you start to condition yourself. I'd like you to consider, and I'll throw this out, what about a 75 hard for business? What if for the next 75 days, you create 5 elements? I'm really going to dial in my signage. I'm really going to dial in open house strategy. And that doesn't mean that you do it every day or every weekend, but I'm going to dial it in. I'm really going to dial the process so that when I do one open house, I'm going to be fucking unstoppable and I'm going to kill it. Instead of just doing more and more and more, please write down the word optimization. What we're talking about here is optimization. We want to optimize our business. So think about those 5 things. Here's a big one. It might sting a little bit, but I'm giving it to you with love. The best agents in this country suck at conversion. They call, they build rapport. How are you today? When do you come? What brings you to the area? I want to throw up. We could dial that in. And I'm not saying you have to adopt my way of doing it, but I was obsessed. I was tired of buyers ghosting me, not showing up. So I had to look at what was wrong and I had to make it better. I had to make the offers more compelling. I had to put myself in my prospect's shoes. So if you haven't looked at the buyer and seller script, that would be a good for 75 hard. For the next 75 days, that is a game changer because instead of talking to 20 people to sell one house, how about we talk to 3 people and sell one house? Who likes that? And then when you talk to 20 people, you got 7 sales. I don't want to do more work. And here's another suggestion of a component that you can go into the resource library and dust off and sharpen your skills. Your listing and buyer presentations. And it doesn't need to be a PowerPoint, but it needs to be compelling. You need to follow a framework. Some of us are going on listing appointments. By the way, the gratitudes in the chat if you want to download it. Um, some of us are going on listing appointments and the sellers want to know what the market is. How much am I going to get for my house? And we give them the price. We do a CMA and they go, great, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. And you're working for free, hoping they choose you. I don't give the sellers the price. I don't discuss the market until I'm 99% sure they're going to choose me because I'm done working for free. And I have a process for that. And if you look at the listing presentation, I'll put it in here because I've updated it. And I want you to just,
That
yeah, this one's, I've made some changes to it here.
it's on the website as well.
Okay. All right. Good, Alan.
No, is
So
it? That's the question.
it is, but I'm getting the rainbow wheel of death right now. So
Oh,
let's
sorry.
wait. No, that's okay. I'll put it in the chat. Um, So the listing presentation, right? I have a process, and qualifying questions is part of the script to make sure that I put myself in a position where it's most probable that I'm going to win the listing before I even arrive. How many of you would like to know that you're going to get the listing before you even get there without sounding like a salesperson, but to demonstrate differentiation? I'm reading this book right now. So part of 75 Hard, you got to pick a book. This is a great one, great marketing book. Really, really great. I love it, love it, love it. Russell Brunson's an expert, but he says most people, he says it so eloquently, right? Because simple scales, complexity fails. He says most people try to do what they're doing better. Don't do better than your competition. You'll only get incremental gains. Do it completely different. Innovate. I don't do CMAs. I don't qualify until I have an appointment. I don't go into pricing with a seller until I'm pretty certain they're going to choose me. Now, nothing's 100%, but all of the pain and suffering I've experienced in my career has been documented, laid out, iterated on, and all you have to do is study it, consume it, internalize it, make it your own, because I'm not trying to turn you into Brian, but that process rocks. And I've got mountains of evidence to prove that it does, because I'd hire brand new agents, no sales experience in real estate whatsoever. Now, I did give them the leads because I knew how to generate leads, but they learned the buyer script, they learned the script, they learned the buyer presentation, they learned two things, and they sold 5 to 7 homes their very first month in the business, every month. 427 sales with 8 agents. I'm most proud of that. And I was out of production, running and managing the team, pulling the levers, optimizing. So, not that you want to build a team, build a company, whatever your goals are, even if it's to go from 15 deals to, $100,000 in income to 200,000, it's not about going from 15 deals to 30 deals. It's about talking to fewer people, getting more appointments, going on those appointments, getting all the listings. Does that make sense? Maybe add to your identity. I am obsessed with optimization. Even if you're not, who thinks that that's an identity that would serve you well? I'm obsessed with optimization. I'm obsessed with working less and getting all the meat off the bone. And if you say that over and over and over again, your conscious mind will actually channel it to your subconscious mind and it will become who you are. That's all I got for you guys today. I love you. Trinity, let's connect on Monday, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I appreciate you
I'll
guys.
message you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so much,
Brian.
Brian. Have fun in Nashville.
Well, as much as I can without drinking.
Cheers.
Tell your
Talk to you
family I said
soon.
hi. Bye.
I will. Bye.